I've seen the future, and the future is cardboard. Wait, is that right? Yeah, it's cardboard. Game immersion has really taken huge steps recently. Virtual reality devices like PSVR, Oculus Rift, or HTC's Vive have made huge strides in trying to visually bring you into a game like never before. Meanwhile, Microsoft's HoloLens, and to a lesser extent things like Google Glass and Apple's ARKit, have tried to merge virtual reality content with physical reality through what's called augmented reality. But Nintendo has been playing with these concepts for a very long time. What does this have to do with cardboard? We just wait, we're gonna get there. Back in the 90s, Nintendo famously failed with the Virtual Boy. While it wasn't the best, both technically and ergonomically speaking, it was still one of the first commercially available virtual reality gaming systems on the market. Over a decade later, Nintendo would try again with its own way of kind of immersing players into these digital environments.
We would like to play.
The Wii's famous motion controls made it a huge success and helped differentiate itself from its competition, at least for a little while. Sure, things like Microsoft's Kinect and Sony's PlayStation Move would come out, and while in some instances they were technically better, both kind of seemed like afterthoughts. Where Nintendo attempted to integrate these motion controls into as many games as possible. So you fast forward a decade and motion is still part of the game, but things like VR and AR and MR are all taking these concepts of physical motion and manipulating digital objects to newer heights. There is another aspect that most have overlooked, that is everyone but Nintendo. And what did they do? They fixed it with cardboard. Things like PlayStation VR and HoloLens do an amazing job of making things look and sound as real as possible, transporting players into these worlds, but one of the major senses is forgotten. Things like haptic feedback try to emulate physical responses, but it still doesn't address the full tactile response you get from holding something or interacting with something. That's where things like LABO come in. LABO has taken a different route. Instead of focusing on visual acuity and immersion, LABO is focused on bringing Nintendo's own spin to augmented or mixed reality in the form of these fun to build, easy to use cardboard accessories. I told you we'd get back to cardboard. Whether it's steering your motorbike with the Toy-Con motorbike or catching fish with the Toy-Con fishing rod, all of these items help add an extra level of tactile response and interaction to a game that, for all other intents and purposes, is completely virtual. Things like the click from the spool as you reel in a fish give an extra sensory feeling that you're performing these tasks, you're interacting with these objects, which is in its own way another kind of immersion. It might not be as flashy as VR headsets, but it's just a lot of fun. The only thing that's kind of stale about the entire thing is the games. Nothing really feels fleshed out enough to warrant the amount of time you spend making these Toy-Cons, but all of that might change. After E3, Nintendo has been very vocal about not giving up on LABO and that they still see potential in it and it could go further. And then all of a sudden, Mario Kart 8 gets an update where it can now use the Toy-Con motorcycle as input for the motorcycle and scooters. You can steer the motorcycles and scooters with the little motorbike accessory. You have trigger-based gas and brake pedals. You move with the motion across the thing. It just feels incredibly fluid, and it's everything that you kind of wish the motorbike game that came with LABO was. Then they didn't stop there. They dropped an all-new creators contest where they offer prizes for people who can make the most interesting things in LABO's garage software. These aren't small prizes either. First prize could land you a LABO-inspired Switch console made to look like it and the dock were built out of cardboard. Seriously, the attention to detail on the back of the dock is fantastic. You can learn more about how to sign up for the creators contest down below or on our website. Did you know that I built a website? You should check it out. fanatixfour.com. Tell your friends. Seriously, tell your friends. I can't wait to see what Nintendo does with LABO going forward. There is so much room for possibility here. I love the idea of supporting these cool, crafty accessories into their own IP. I would love to see simple LABO rackets for Mario Tennis Aces to sweet souped up cockpits in the next Star Fox or F-Zero game. Even things from the past like the Zapper or the light gun, or crossbow accessories from Link's crossbow could easily add all kinds of fun extensions to the games they already have out. But that's what I think. Are you excited for more cardboard Toy-Cons to build and fill up your shelf? Do you hate the idea of Nintendo adding these into future games? Or do you just loathe the idea of building anything out of card? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for new content every Tuesday and Thursday from Logan and AJ. Check out fanatixfour.com for editorials, reviews, and news from all the staff here at Fanatix4. Like podcasts? We have one directly to you. It's available every Saturday on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and pretty much every other podcast platform, except Spotify. Don't ask about Spotify.